All right, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with a Vulnerable Angel and friends. I am your host, the Vulnerable Angel, Dominica May. Sorry for the late start. My guest tonight is Sharad. Welcome, Sharad.
Hey guys,
You're going to apologize to our audience for keeping them waiting.
I'm so sorry. I was a very naughty boy last night and overslept.
At least you weren't drinking alcohol and taking drugs.
Oh,
That would have made you an even naughtier boy.
yeah. I was at an old high school reunion actually. So yeah, like I was talking to people I hadn't seen in 20 years, and got back super late and just passed out. So
That's amazing. It'll be interesting to see if that event actually comes up as part of our discussion tonight, because our discussion tonight is the meaning of home. That is the topic that we brought up, or I decided to come up with this week, because I thought we might have another Malaysian friend with us tonight, but I haven't heard from him. So if he pops in later, great. If not, it's fine. We can have our discussion without him. Cool. Okay, before we get started, Daniel is in the audience, so I'll bring up a couple of his comments here. I think I asked him if he likes the crown that YouTube gave him for being one of my top fans. Like we mentioned that last week with my dad. And Daniel says, not really a crown kind of guy. If I'd have been in some royal line of succession in a past life, I'd have been like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, that's fair. And now he says, I suddenly have a new appreciation for pastel yellow. Thank you. I know, I normally am in my white angel dress, but I've been changing things up.
Mix it up.
Last week was the maid costume. This week, it's been hot in the San Francisco Bay Area the last couple of days. If you follow my Instagram, you might have seen some of my a little bit less top material, or a little bit less material in the tops that I've been wearing.
Instagram, you say? Let me quickly have a look.
Yes, I've had this halter top since my 20s, I think. So this like I'm looking very I think this is one of the things that keeps me looking young, is I'm still wearing the clothes from my younger years.
The classic.
That's right. Okay. So yes, let's bring up our first question. Have you ever felt more at home somewhere unexpected than in your actual house?
This might sound a bit cheesy, but for me, home isn't a place. It isn't even a country. It's people.
Let's bring up this question first.
There you go.
Is home a place, a person, a feeling, or something else entirely for you, and why?
There you go.
Since that's how you're answering, let's start with that one.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's definitely people. For me, it was always like just your friends, your family, and that will never change.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely that.
Yeah, I think people is definitely a big part of it, but I would say more than anything, out of all of those examples or options in the question, I would say a feeling is the strongest for me. Whether it's the feeling that I get in a particular place, the feeling I get with particular people, or like doing an activity, that is just the feeling, and it's hard to describe. Like I can't explain what that feeling is. It's just like, this feels like home. Like that's the only way to describe it,
For sure.
So all right, answer that question, and let's go back to this other one. Have you ever felt more at home somewhere unexpected than in your actual house, or like area that is your usual like home kind of area, I suppose, if we want to be a little bit more general?
Not really. I think for me, it's always been. I mean, home will always be home. You know, like there's. It's a very interesting thing. Like something. I had a conversation with my father not that long ago about how he was saying, the house was always giving a lot of issues, and it's not cheap to maintain. And it's an old house. I mean, this house I'm in right now was built in 1991,
Mm.
so it's a relatively old house. And yeah, he was saying, oh,
Shit, man, that's yeah. Sorry,
yeah,
91.
yeah,
over 45 years old. So, like trying to do the calculations. Like I was born in the 80s.
and yeah, so he mentioned, like, to be fair, he was probably ranting a little bit, and he's like saying, oh, I just want to sell the house and move into something a lot more economical, like an apartment or something, a service apartment. And I don't know why that kind of created a sense of dread in me, and that really, really hit home.
Mm.
I was like, I really hope he doesn't go that far, because I not like I always
So your
wasn't.
house still feels like home, even though home is more than just
Yeah,
the building structure.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, this house, like we moved here when I was 5, and it's something that I don't know. Like it might sound unrealistic and maybe naive on my part. I always thought that in some ways, if and when I do eventually pass away, it would be in this house.
Mm.
So, and like I have a lot of attachment to this, and um, I'm very nostalgic to a fault, even when it doesn't make sense. And yeah, maybe that's just me. Like I know that buildings don't have souls or personalities per se, but they have memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I picked this topic was because I watched the Australian film called The Castle last week, and one of the famous quotes from that is, "It's not a house; it's a home." So it's a movie about a guy who, like, the government is trying to buy his home or house from him so that they can expand the airport. And so he takes them to court because he doesn't want to have to give up his house, because to him it's his home. So it sounds like that's kind of similar for you in your experience.
Hmm.
Your comments are also making me think about both like my own family home that I grew up in. My sister currently owns and lives in that house. It was left to my siblings and me when my mum passed away, and then my sister bought out my brothers and my share from us so that she could live there and everything. So I don't know what I would do if, like, I have the freedom of going back to visit her in that home. At least I haven't for a long time, but it's an option. When I talk to my kids about selling the house that we live in now in order for me or for us to relocate internationally, I think they had a similar reaction to what you're describing,
Yeah.
as like kind of freaking out of like, is like, because this is the home that they've lived in for the last 11 years. So this is like, to give it up feels like scary, daunting.
Hmm.
If you don't have a home base, where do you go back to? Right.
Yeah.
And I had that initially when I was thinking about like just the prospect of giving it up, but it only lasted like a day. Like, it was just, I described it, I think, on a previous stream. I was like, it felt like premature grief. And then once I'd like come to terms with the fact that it's just a house and home is more than a location, and the fact that other places have felt like home to me, I think that I was just like, okay, let's move on. Let's sell the house. This is an option now. So for my answer to this question, have I ever felt more at home somewhere unexpected than in your actual house? Absolutely. And it's more like I described in the first answer, with the feeling aspect, and people too. So I shared a shorter video recently how I was talking about every time I went back to Malaysia in the last couple of years, it felt like I was going home, even though I didn't have a house or a home there anymore. Every time I went back, it felt like home. And so it's like, yes, so that's not my house, but it still feels like home. Another location that I've been to a number of times that I've never lived in. Oh, Zach is here. Let me message Zach the link to join as well. Hang on.
Actually, keep talking. I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to pop to a loo real quick.
Oh, no worries.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay. Sorry, guys. Let me pause while I'm sharing the link with Zach so that he can join us for the conversation too. Oh, my God. I have a recent message here. Here we go. Paste.
Hello, sorry about that.
No worries. I was able to get that link sent to Zach, so hopefully he'll be joining us shortly. Yeah, so as I was saying, the other location that has felt like home to me every time I've visited, and I've never lived there, was Honolulu in Hawaii. And I've been there like, I don't know, six times, possibly more, but I think 6 times. And I have friends there, but it's not just the fact that I have friends there that it has felt like home to me. It's also just been like, when, I don't know, just the atmosphere, it feels very welcoming, and that welcoming aspect makes it feel homely, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, so I think that's like the main the main example of somewhere that I've never lived that has felt like home to me.
I get you. I mean, I think it really kind of breaks down to memories, really. I mean, like it doesn't matter whether it's a really really fancy location. It could just be a shack somewhere, you know, or like conversely, it could be this amazing kind of Bruce Wayne kind of manner, but if there's no people there to share it with, it's just a piece of mortar and brick. That's all it is.
Yeah, it makes a difference. All right. Okay, we do have another comment from Daniel in here that I will bring up. Daniel says, there's a lyric from a band called 12 Foot Ninja, an Australian band, funnily enough, that says, wherever you may go, may your heart remain your home.
That's nice.
Interesting. I don't think I'm familiar with them. So I will have to check that out. Sorry, I'll bring out Zach's comment so you can see why I was like, oh, he's like, hello. All right, okay, he's joined us. Here we go. Zach is in the chat.
Hey, Zach, how's it going, buddy?
Zach is actually here now. Welcome, Zach.
Hang on, sorry, it's been a hectic morning.
No, it's okay. Like, late start just happened. Like, as I was saying, like in the chat before we went live, I was like, you know what? We're on Malaysian time because my guests are Malaysians. That's why. Yeah. At least we were able to make it happen. I'm glad you could join us, Zach, because I picked this topic this week, the meaning of home, because I know that you also are someone like both me and Sharad, we've all lived in different parts of the world, different countries all over the globe, from different ages and things. So I thought it would be a great topic for all of us to discuss because of that.
Mm.
So let me bring up the next question, which kind of relates to a comment that Shara just gave us, which is, what makes a place truly feel like home? People, memories, familiarity, or something else?
I don't know. I think I had an interesting experience the other month rather. So as I mentioned, I've been living in this house since 1991, and I had I woke up one morning and my right eye had swollen shut so badly I couldn't see at all. Even if I tried to pry it open, it just wouldn't work.
Oh my God.
And so I remember thinking oh God, and it made me think I just realized I could actually walk around my house, eyes completely closed, without hearing anything, without trying to reach out and touch it. I would know where everything is. And
Wow.
for a laugh, I did that, and just obviously not on the stairs for obvious reasons.
Right.
But yeah, like upstairs, downstairs, outside, with my eyes closed. As long as I walked slowly, I didn't bump into anything, and I knew where everything was. So yeah, I think it's probably a connection of memories, familiarity, everything else. So it's home.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Zach?
Oh, me is definitely the people. Like the people makes the place feel more like home. I think we had a conversation about this. Oh yeah, like me and you, Dom. Like
Sure.
it's about the community, right? Like you have people that you can count on to like go play pickleball with, or you can do read comic books with, or go to the movies with. So I think what it boils down to is just it's the people that makes it home, you know.
Yeah.
And I felt that when I was in Japan. I felt that when I was in the States. And then even like some short trips to like this remote place in Thailand where these people don't know who I am, but they just treated me like family. I mean, when I say treated me like family, like woke me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do like the morning farm. Like 'cause it was like a farm. It was like a farm, yeah. And and it was like one of the best experiences of my life. So I would shout out to Chiang Mai.
That's cool,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you kind of answered the question already, but like for the people aspect, like when you were living, you mentioned Japan and the United States. I was going to ask, was it the people like your parents and your family were with you in the different locations, or is like the extended people as in like the people in the community as well? And
Oh yeah, definitely the extended people. A family, okay, maybe I take them for granted because I just assume that my family will always be there for me, but yeah, like when I was in Japan, I had a little neighborhood baseball team where kids would come out every evening to play baseball, and then they just knew me as the foreigner who could hit home runs. So yeah, I mean, and then because of that, they know where Malaysia is. So yeah,
that's cool, man.
That's a great way to introduce people to your country.
Yeah, I could say the same thing about the States too. Like nobody knew where Malaysia was.
No, nobody knows.
Yeah, and then in come this guy who's like kicking ass in rugby and making jokes and then now they know. They still don't know where Malaysia is, but
no, they still don't.
They just assume that I'm related to The Rock. So I was like, oh.
I think you're Polynesian.
They think you're Samoan.
Yeah, they think I'm Samoan. Not even Polynesian. They'd be like, "Where's Polynesia?"
Fair. But it's not like they know where Samoa is either.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Zach, you're referring to our private video call that we had a few weeks back, where I was talking about moving or potentially moving back to Malaysia, and the reason being that it feels like home because of the community and everything. Yeah, that's definitely people and community. I think memories is a big part of it as well. Like every time I went back to Malaysia, it's like, oh, I remember this. Like I even though I hadn't taken the LRT or the MRT in like 10 years or something. The last time I was back, I took it and I didn't need to look at any maps to know how to get to KLCC, even though that my stop that I got on at didn't exist when I lived there before. I still knew how to get there.
That's cool, man.
I mean, granted, like the stop that I got on at was like right by where I used to live, so it was not like that big of a deal. It's like, this is home. Like I deliberately chose an apartment complex that was like just across the other side of the highway from the apartment complex that I used to live in, just so I could look at and see it outside of the balcony window of where I was staying. That's where I used to live.
I think that's what we call a stalker, Dominica. I think that's what you're.
I'm not a stalker. I'm not. If I'm stalking where I used to live, that's
exactly.
That's very different to stalk your own history than it is to have somebody else be stalking you, which is
fair enough.
seems to be what's happening on my Instagram these days. I think so. It's like, anyway. This is talking my history. It's an excavation. That's what a friend described what my memoir research was doing, is an excavation of my history, like I was an archaeologist of my own history. Yeah, so all of those
just
things.
Call yourself Indiana Jones.
I said archaeologist.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is an archaeologist.
Yeah, I know. But that doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm Indiana Jones. I do all of like the temple runs and like
Doc Jones
fighting the snakes and things. All right, we have a couple of chat comments that I will bring up before we move into the next question.
Next question.
Not yet. All right, my dad is in the audience too.
Frank.
My dad says, been reading past comments, I guess from the chat. Looks like a stressful morning. There is, for me, a realization all works out in the long run. Look, I'm glad that everyone was able to join, and it doesn't matter if we started late. It is Saturday for these guys, so they deserve a sleep in. Yeah, they deserve a sleep in on a Saturday. I'm not angry. It just gave me time to observe that my Instagram stalker is still stalking me while I was waiting to start my live stream. I was like, is this somebody who's waiting to also watch my live stream and they're bored, so they're trying to look at my Instagram instead? I don't know. And Daniel also has a comment. He says, I say, apparently, it's not stalking if I'm at least 500 yards away and not looking directly at them.
Fair.
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's why internet stalking is a thing, because you can easily be 500 yards away from someone when you're stalking them online, right?
The way you're just justifying all this, I'm like,
Hey, remember our baby reindeer stream, Zach? And how I was afraid of the possibility of turning into Martha? Yeah, you can see why. I am not presently stalking anyone online. I've given that up for a few months now.
That's good. That's
good. I'm not presently in that headspace, so I'm good at the moment. All right. Next question is, have you ever outgrown a place that once felt like home, and what changed? I'm happy to answer this one first. I'll give you guys some time. Yes, absolutely. Like, I grew up in Australia, as you may be able to tell from my accent. if it was not already obvious. And the place that I grew up was in a town called Rockingham, south of Perth in Western Australia. And that home, I said my sister lives there now. It definitely felt like home. Like every time I traveled, I came back and like it felt like home. But once I moved out, and especially after I moved to Malaysia, Australia did not feel like home anymore. I didn't have, I realized, I guess, that I didn't have the sense of community there that I needed in order for it to feel home. Like I didn't have any super close friendships with people, at least in Perth, Australia. Like my closest friends in Australia are in Melbourne rather than Perth. So like if anywhere in Australia feels like home to me, it's Melbourne. And I've never lived there. So yeah, I guess that's the big thing, is that I never really felt a strong sense of safety. I think probably the other thing that changed was that my mum passed away back in 2005. And so without her, it felt less like home to be there, because she wasn't around anymore. And I guess she was a big part of what made that house feel like home to me.
What you, Zach?
Sorry, I just got a message saying that my battery is low. Okay. Wait, I'm gonna play that one. What changed? I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't know if this falls into it, but ever since I came back to Malaysia, every New Year's I spent my New Year's in Langkawi, because
no way.
I had a friend there who whose parents ran a restaurant, and they would always like accommodate me every New Year's and just have a chill Langkawi New Year's. And yeah, the Langkawi felt like home away from home. It's beautiful beaches, cheap stuff.
Right.
And when like all these oh man, it's gonna make me sound like Trump.
All these
No, it's
All
fine.
these foreigners came over.
It's different. I feel like it's different in Malaysia compared to like the United States, because the United States is meant to be like, it's known for being the country that welcomes people from all over the world, right? It's very different from other parts. That's my excuse.
Anyway, when people started when foreigners started investing in like property in Langkawi, it started getting grimy and crowded, and tourists can be a little too rowdy, and yeah, it just kind of like started like you didn't want to be around that area anymore, and you miss the peaceful, like in Malaysian term, kampong feeling, where you would go for lunch at this auntie's place, and it's literally her place that she just serves, mixed food, and then that had to shut down, and post COVID, and then post COVID, all these new, because Langkawi was the place to go because you could travel within Malaysia. Right. Langkawi was the place to go to party, and because of that, people started investing more in like hotels and Airbnbs and stuff. And again, that whole crowdedness, that whole, just them unruly kids, I tell you. Yeah. So Langkawi was the place for me, and then I just kind of like the people, like yeah, the people that I grew up there with, like when I was like during New Year's and stuff. They all have left like the main city part of Langkawi.
Yeah.
So I guess I outgrown the place already.
Well, if the people that make it feel like home leave, so that seems to be like the theme. The people that make it feel like home leave.
Yeah.
Same with me, with my mum. She was
Mm,
gone. Then, of course, it's not going to feel like home anymore. It makes sense.
mm. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
I mean, it's sad
But
too because Langkawi is a beautiful place. It still is a beautiful place. It's extremely congested and
mm,
crowded. It's like you'll have a hotel that's not well maintained. Next to it, it's just a restaurant that you don't need to have a restaurant but you know, people drink and people need that midnight snack and they're
mm,
open for that. And it just you get all sorts of shit lah. And yeah, I think in Malaysian tourism, the main thing is maintenance. They don't keep up with
mm.
like keeping the place clean, or it's
Hmm.
just like we'll do the bare minimum, and that's it.
No, that sucks. I haven't been to Langkawi for many years, so I have no idea. Like, I don't have a concept of what that actually looks like nowadays. I don't remember it being like super busy and stuff like that. But
Mm,
obviously,
mm.
it was more than 11 years ago. I think it was like just after my son was born, because I remember. So it must have been like 2010, I think, that I was there. So
Mm.
15 years ago. Jesus Christ. Really? Oh my god. Yes. And like my strongest memories are like the animals and the mangroves.
That's
Okay.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
What animals?
What animals? Like the birds. Like, I think you got like, what are they?
Are you confusing? Do you mean the eagles?
Are they eagles? No, well, there is an eagle, the giant big eagle statue there, right?
No, no. I mean, Langkawi is named for the eagles that.
Yeah. But I think I don't know. Maybe my memory is faulty.
Wow.
um yeah. Anyway, how about you, Sharon? Have you
Yeah.
ever outgrown a place?
This one's tricky because I think I'm actually going through it right now. I
Mm.
have our family has a apartment in Ginting Highlands, which is not that far away from
Ooh.
here, and we've had it for a very very long time. And ever since I was very very young, my mother and I would go, and we would spend the
And
weekend.
gamble?
My mum would go gambling sometimes, uh, and but she wasn't much of a gambler. But we'd go and just to get out of the city and just do all the tourist stuff and what have you. Sometimes we would just get to the apartment, we just wouldn't leave. Mum and I would just get bottles of whiskey and gin, and we connect my PlayStation to the TV so we can watch YouTube videos or stream stuff, and that's all we did. And it was honestly it was just magical, and it was I mean, you didn't have to even leave the apartment, and when you got back home you actually felt so refreshed, so rejuvenated,
Mm,
and
yeah.
like you actually felt it, you could feel it on your skin that you felt lighter and more relaxed. And it's always been a magical place for me. Unfortunately, when my mother very unexpectedly passed away last year, it hasn't felt the same. I've been up to the apartment several times since she's passed, and it feels very hollow. Like every time I go in there, I can actually uh, I look at the walls and I realize how gray they actually are.
Mm.
Mm.
And everything feels very inauthentic and plastic almost. Even like I remember touching the sofas and the bed with my hands, and I was just like, it just feels cold,
Mm.
and it's tricky. So it's still the same place. Nothing has changed. If anything
Apart from the
else,
fact that your mum is not around to enjoy it with you anymore.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Where is this apartment? Wait,
do you know what Amber Court is?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for context, Gunting is like mini Las Vegas. But more like
Yeah.
Reno. Like Reno.
I was describing Genting Highlands to a friend recently, and I mentioned that the casino and the gambling there, and he was like, "There's gambling in Malaysia." I'm like, "Yeah, it's like the only place that you can go to do that."
Yep. Buses and buses of people just come in daily. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many Chinese nationals just come.
yeah, yeah.
Like I snuck in the gambling den because as a Muslim they check. I mean but I got passed through one day. And I don't know, I've never seen this in Vegas. Not like in my earliest memories of Vegas. I've never seen this on the Vegas like gambling floor. But the people who were betting were shouting at the dealers. And they're not shouting like I'm yelling at you to like because it's bad service or anything like that. It's like I'm yelling at you to give me the card that I want.
So
Yeah.
I can win.
Yeah. It's like, picture copy. And and then this is how bad. I don't know if this happens in Vegas or not, but so I'll be sitting at the table and then I'll be gambling, right? But then there'll be like three more guys behind me who sees that I'm winning, who will bet on me to win.
Oh,
So they will like piggyback
That's
on the
amazing.
bet. Yeah. So that's why when you see like a table that's like
Yeah.
crowded, it's because somebody's on a hot
People are
streak.
betting on the wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went into the gambling parts when I was in Genting, so that's interesting to
Fun.
me.
It's fun. It's a lot
And
of it's a lot of older aunties there with like just buckets of coins.
Mm.
This yeah, I don't know if you know this, but the hotels in Genting is almost at 90% every day, every year.
Yep.
And that's because there's one douchebag who rents out 20 rooms at one time, and then he'll go like to some random person who's like, "Oh, your booking has been denied," or like, there's no more rooms. And then they'd be like, "Hey, do you want a room? I got you a room." But for maybe like 200 or 300 ringgit more than the asking price.
Oh my god.
That's so
that's a lot of dodgy stuff that happens.
It is crazy.
Yeah. I just want to go back to when Sharad, you mentioned that it felt hollow in that place. Before you said the word that I was like, oh, I bet he's going to say hello. I was like, it's very, I think that's a really good descriptor of how it feels once things do change. Then it's like, oh, it's very hollow to be here now. It's no longer important, I guess. Here for me still feels like home, but I'm not as attached to it anymore. So yeah, maybe once I'm actually gone, it will no longer feel like home, or maybe it will still feel like home when I return to visit. I don't know.
Who knows?
All right, we have some more comments in the chat. Let me bring them up. Okay. Daniel says, wait, you're Australian? Yes, he obviously knows. My dad says, when it comes to geography, I am still pretty dense. Dad, does that mean that you still have no idea where Malaysia is, even though I lived there for 5.5 years? He never came to visit me anyway, so it's not like he needed to know exactly where it was. And he also says, I have lived in lots of places. I've discovered home is where the heart is. It is more, that is the saying, right? The home is where the heart is. It is more about people than things. It doesn't mean what memories you put in don't affect the home feelings. Yeah. All right. Now, next question is good one for all of us. How does your cultural background influence your sense of what home means?
How does my cultural background? What you mean? What you mean? You break it down.
What I mean, cultural background? Being Malaysian, being Muslim, being Malay, whatever parts of your culture. Like you also have the, what's it called? That when you're grew up in different cities around the, third culture kid. Yeah, that's part of your culture too.
I'm a third culture kid. So, you know, it. I guess it's because it's hard to make a connection. Because it's you know, you're just there, and then next thing in the blink of an eye you go. So it's hard. I guess the hardest thing is always trying to make new friends. Every time you go to a new place, I'd say Japan was a big impact for me because it's the earliest memory I had of staying in a foreign country, and again, it's the people that I build that relationship with over there. That's why it was hard for me to leave Japan. But then when it came down to moving to Belgium, you know, I wouldn't say I had a sense like I made some best friends there. I made some good friends, but it was easier for me to move on from Belgium. Yeah, the same thing with Croatia. When I was in Croatia, it was just like 2 years. It was like within a blink of an eye, you know, I was out already. I didn't even have time to establish anything. So
no, I get that. I think it took me like 5 years before Malaysia really felt like home, because that was when I really started to be more invested in the community and hanging out with people more. Right around the time that I was almost soon to be moving here, which is like, why? So you can see why I want to go back. Like now it's actually home.
Yeah. Sure. If anything, it made me, you know, a commitment phobe.
I can see that. I can see how I would do that though. It's like there's too many options for me. I've done this and I've done that. So you expect me to settle down in one place with one person?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really weird because in Malaysia we have this thing that, you know, like Malaysia Boleh, we're the best, you know, that kind of thing. And it was really interesting when I started to live elsewhere, first in England, then later on in America. Like it's very different because cultural background means you are proud to be where you're from, of what you make up. Where else in, let's say, the West, particularly, let's say in America, it was home was people there were there's a lot of strife. Not to say there's not strife in Malaysia, there's plenty, trust me. But you all can agree that Malaysia is a beautiful place. You know, it's our differences that make us stronger. Where else in America, and you know, I don't have to. This isn't new, obviously, but it in some ways it started off that it started off being this place where it was inviting immigrants to kind of embrace the American dream, to now where it's like, you know, they're coming here and taking our jobs. So it's tricky. It's very tricky. So I think a cultural background that really kind of embraces, not necessarily welcomes, but embraces the diversity of our strengths.
Yeah.
That's what home will always be to me.
Yeah. No, I feel that as well. Like, the way I celebrated Independence Day last week was I wasn't even like intentionally, I didn't start out intentionally doing this, but that was the day that I watched the Australian film The Castle, and I introduced that film to an Indian friend of mine. He's from India, and then since I was doing that on Independence Day, I was like, hey, we should do something from your culture as well. Because like, to me, America should be about celebrating the different cultures, because that's what has built America into be what it is today. And I'm so frustrated with the fact that the current government is trying to take that away from us and like push the immigrants out. It's making it feel like less home to even Americans who were born here. And that doesn't include me, because I was not born here, but I am technically American due to my parents being American. Like, so American by birth, but not until I was 3 or whatever. I think that's when my parents applied for my citizenship, or fill out the paperwork for it.
Lineage,
yeah. So my cultural background, because, like, as I mentioned, my parents are American, they're from here. That would be the cultural background, I suppose, that influences what home is. But I don't know. I mean, America is such a broad culture that if you're talking, my Indian friend was asking about like, what is American food? I'm like, hot dogs and hamburgers. And he was like, but isn't hamburgers from somewhere? Like, I don't know. Like, there's American Chinese food and Chinese food.
Yeah.
I know, it's so different. I mean, it's not, but it's different enough. So yeah, but my Australian cultural background, also growing up in Australia, does influence my sense of home as well. And that's one of the reasons that I decided to, I've been wanting to watch more Australian cinema again. I think for maybe for that desire of home and, trying to get back to my roots in a way. And there's like so many Australian films that I've not seen in years, and The Castle was just one of them. But I've been looking at checking out some more. I want to show my son a couple of like the Australian kids movies that I liked growing up. One of them is a movie called Napoleon, which is about a golden retriever puppy who gets lost in the Australian bush and he has to find his way home again. And then you might be familiar with the film Babe, because I know that one was like a worldwide phenomenon. So that, and then the sequel Babe, Pig in the City. Like, so those kinds of things. I think those memories, I guess the cultural background of just like growing up with my dad being a movie fan and introducing me to movies probably has influenced my sense of what home means to me as well, because I'm finding home in the movies that I want to rewatch, this nostalgia feelings of the movies that I grew up with in my childhood. That's like, I need that for home. So like, I've also been looking into getting Homeward Bound, yes. Milo and Otis, Free Willy, Beethoven, like all of these like animal films for kids, like family films with animals in them, that I'm just like, I realized like, I don't think there are any films like that are made these days with real live animals, as in those kinds of context. Like animals these days, more CGI. or in different types of films, but not family films. So yeah, I don't know what aspect of the cultural background is part of that, but it just feels like that nostalgia for the films that I grew up with. And it's those kinds of things, those memories that I can take with me no matter where I move to, that still make up home. So like my collections of my movie collection, my figurines, and all that kind of thing. As long as I have those things with me, then I can make home wherever it is that I am.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think maybe like, especially the collection stuff. So this is interesting. My dad had an aunt, her name was Vi. My aunt Vi, my great aunt Vi was also a big collector, and I loved visiting her every time we came to Wyoming when I was a kid, because she had like a collection of like over 100 Cabbage Patch dolls that were like at the top of like, you know, on shelves at the top of this big room. She had a collection of like so many other things as well, and I was like, I want to be a collector like that. Like, so I think that might have influenced some of my collecting stuff. My dad was a bit of a collector, but more in just movies rather than toys and figurines and stuff, apart from taking me to McDonald's and getting the figurines and the Happy Meals. They're part of my collections. I still have all of those toys.
I think that's what you call a hoarder, I think.
Yeah. That's why I have to pack up some of my things and put them in storage before I put my house on the market for an open house. Because it is not in a state that people will look through like, this is a bit of a mess. There's a lot of things here that are so yes. But you know, it's fine. All right, I think we've answered that question. So my dad has another comment for us, I believe.
Ooh, let's hear it, Frank.
Let's see. This one. My dad says, the home that was designed by your mother and I, an engineer and I an artist. Yeah, that's the home that I grew up in. My mom designed it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And also my dad. Yeah. So I think that's one of the reasons why it feels so special. I'm glad that someone in my family still has it, because I think once it goes to somebody else, then it's not going to have the same kind of sense of homeness or connection. Yeah.
Where's this house again? Sorry.
This is in Rockingham in Western Australia.
Very cool.
Which is where?
Where is Rockingham? It's about 45 minutes south of Perth, if you drive.
Okay.
Have you been to Perth, Zach?
Negatory.
No way.
But I'm trying to make... What?
No. Oh, I was going to say, I've been surprised at some of the Malaysian comedians that have gone and performed out there. You're trying to do that too, Zach?
Yeah.
Melbourne's still better.
A little congested right now.
Yeah. especially if I'm trying to come back. Sorry, I'm going to be one of those foreigners that is going to
Come here,
make the place be a different kind of feeling.
But Dom comes back and everybody leaves for Australia. Like,
yeah, that'd be funny.
I would be pissed. No, I don't think everyone would.
For you guys.
I came back for you, and I was. I'm sure I would still find other parts that would feel like home for me. All right. And then Daniel says, there's a show called The Leftovers, and the main character crosses over. He has to sing Homeward Bound by Simon and Garfunkel to get back to the woman he's in love with, who winds up in Australia. Is that a real thing?
Is a show like a series or like a movie?
I'm guessing it's a show.
I feel like I've heard of The Leftovers. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to Google it.
Apparently, it's a American drama series.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's called Leftovers.
It's on HBO. That's why I haven't seen it. All right.
Is it new?
It's got 3 seasons,
It was
And
released from 2014 to 2017.
so it's not that new then. It's over 10 years old.
It's not from the 90s, put it that way.
It's if you're old like us, it's still kind of new. For me, like old is from my childhood, and then like since then it's still kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
Or childhood or older.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my dad has another comment. He says, yes, just lots of islands to me. Malaysia's not an island though. I mean, East Malaysia is on an island, but it's not.
It's a peninsula. It's a peninsula.
Yeah, and then is the peninsula, which is attached to continental Asia, Dad. So East Malaysia is part of the island of Borneo, but Borneo has 3 different countries on it. Brunei and Indonesia are the other 2.
Ah.
Is there really, like, that can't be new information for you, surely. You're from there. Surely that's not new information. All right, my dad says Malaysia, Philippines, Easter Island, Polynesia, New Zealand, Hawaii, all one to me. Australia, just a big island and smaller on in the middle of all of them. But it's not in the middle of all of them. Most of those are either north or east of Australia. I actually don't know where Easter Island is, but all of the other ones I know are.
Well, they celebrate Easter, no?
Easter Island?
They go specifically there just to celebrate it, the one day in the year. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of people waiting for the return of Jesus. He's like, where is he?
That's right.
People dressed in like giant, like kind of bunny suits going over here.
Where is he?
I'm telling you that Jesus kind of backfired on us, man.
All right. Our next question is it possible to feel at home in multiple places at once or nowhere at all? I think both are possible. Have you experienced either or both of these?
I'd say so because, like, for me, multiple places, as I've mentioned, and even nowhere at all. It actually does boil down to the people. This doesn't mean maybe the people that you share the home with. It could be the community. It could be the area. It could be the geographical area around you itself that you have the attachment to. So, like I said, like where I'm at now, this will always be my home. And after my mother passed away, like it's definitely felt. It definitely feels a lot more, just empty, and including specifically that apartment in Genting House that I mentioned, because it was mostly for my mom and I that we would go to. And when I go there now, it's very, very painful in sometimes, because even though I love going there, it's the all my like all the memories I have to that are attached to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it can feel like, you have home multiple places, but then after circumstances where whatever happens, you feel like you're a person without a country anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Zach? Or you want me to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. You're eating. Okay, fair enough. I have definitely had the nowhere feeling at home to me. But I would say when I first moved to Malaysia, that was very much how I felt. Nowhere felt like home, because Australia didn't feel like home anymore anyway. But moving to Malaysia, I hadn't found a strong sense of community yet. I was, it was just like me and my then husband and my daughter. And I guess that wasn't enough for it to feel like home. It took me, so like not long after I moved to Malaysia, I took a trip out to Melbourne during the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. This was back in 2009. And that I did in order to find home or find a sense of me again, which is the homely kind of feeling, and reconnect to my roots, which was stand-up comedy, because I hadn't done it in a few years, I think, at that point, or maybe a couple of years, maybe. And returning to Melbourne, I'm like, oh, this feels like home. And like that trip, I was like actually contemplating ending my marriage. Didn't, but I was definitely felt like that at that point, because Melbourne felt like more safe and more home to me, just because, you know, I'd only recently moved to Malaysia and I felt so displaced, and nothing felt like home at that point. But whereas now it's like multiple places all at once. Yeah, absolutely. Like here still feels like home. Malaysia feels like home. I bet anytime I would go back to Melbourne, I bet it would still feel like home to me, because the city is so well laid out. It's like, this feels home. And I think I would feel that way if I went back to Honolulu as well. So even though I've never lived there either. So yeah, probably the sense of memories make a big part of why multiple places can feel home at once, and the connections that I have to those locations.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite one?
Out of all of those?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking at moving back to Malaysia, so probably Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
Our food's probably the best one out of the lot.
The food? Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like there may be, I think the only food that I have had here that I probably would find it hard to find in Malaysia would be southern food, like gumbo and things, which is why
you call it southern food?
Gumbo,
southern food.
Yeah,
like
gumbo.
Louisiana, Nola, Gumbo is. Do you know what gumbo is?
Yes, I know what gumbo
Okay.
is.
I had a po' boy, a catfish po' boy. It's just a sandwich, but they call them po' boys there. And that was from like a southern food truck that I went to a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, you know what? I've been craving southern food, and if I move, I'm probably not going to be able to find southern food. So I should probably have this now.
Cool.
Not that it beats Malaysian food.
Well, I mean, that's what Malaysian food is so great. We're a hodgepodge of everything. You can either have traditional food, you can have Western food. If you're not feeling it, pop down to KFC. There you go.
Well, that's right. Well, and then
the choices is the choice.
the restaurant that my Indian friend took me to for Independence Day last week was South Indian food, which is also very common in Malaysia. Although they use different words for what he was using for them. But so I was like, oh, I can get this in Malaysia. We call it something else there, but it's fine. Yeah. Zach, do you have any thoughts on this question?
No, I mean, like,
no.
For me is I'm like a one home kind of guy. I'm not multiple homes kind of guy. When I'm at home at a certain home, then I'll be with that home until I'm not home anymore.
Right. So if you're visiting somewhere else, then that place will feel like home. But your place that you live is not your home then? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
No. I just when I was in Melbourne, there was a sense of home there. International people. There's a small community, very very small community of people that I can vibe with, and it's still like lingering in the back of my mind of whether I'm contemplating to move there to further my career.
You gonna
So,
marry an Australian to make it easier for you?
oh my god, I feel like Australian girls are just so easier to manage. You know?
He says to an Australian girl on the street. I'm easier to manage than Malaysian.
Well, you're not really Australian, are you?
I'm not. What? Why?
You're a child of the international. I mean, once you go international and understand the internationalese,
I suppose. Yeah.
you can't.
It makes
can't,
you less of a redneck.
Yay! It makes you less of a bogan.
Bogan, yes, in the Australian context.
Yes.
Bogan or a drongo. See, I still know Australian slang words.
Sure.
Well, what about the nowhere at all, Zach? Being a third culture kid, like you talked about Croatia and Belgium, for examples, when you were in those locations, did it feel like nowhere was home, or were there other places outside of those countries that felt like home and you just weren't there?
Like, okay, so when I moved to Croatia, and there was like, it was literally during the Bosnia and Serbia conflict.
Wow.
And the schools were like, I mean, we went to school but like for half a day just because of security.
Wow.
And then again, there was I had no connection to anyone, so my immediate go-to would be the most previous place that I stayed, which was Belgium. And then I remember, I mean, I had maybe one girlfriend or two in the school, and I missed them. I didn't necessarily miss the place, but I miss the people there, and what we used to do, which was go to the movies,
and make out. Or is there, might they say asking too much?
There was just holding hand stuff.
Oh, just like
okay. We were freshmen.
Okay.
We were freshmen, and those days, freshman kids were still, innocent.
Fair. I didn't date anyone when I was that age, so my memories of going on dates in the movies are from older, and I definitely got up to more than that.
Oh my.
Just one time. All right, we've got some more comments in the chat that I'm going to bring up. Here we go.
Hello there.
Daniel says, what do you call an Asian religious convert to Jesus? A Borneo again Christian. I'll see myself out. That's a pun. That's a pun for sure.
Well done.
All right. My dad says.
Wait. I was writing that down. Cool.
Oh, okay. Are you going to use it in your stand-up?
only for the Borneans.
Okay.
Okay.
You done? Okay.
I was kidding, but okay.
I didn't know. I'm autistic, so I take things literally unless people tell me otherwise. Sometimes I can tell it's a joke. Sometimes I can't. All right. My dad says Thor Heiderol did a big raft journey to Easter Island from South America to prove the possibility of island hopping to populate the area. The area is known for giant heads sticking out of the ground. Yep, but they dug deeper so that they know that they're not just heads now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what are they?
I just pictured that night in the museum. Dum dum.
Yeah, they dug deeper to uncover that there's like full bodies and stuff and everything. They just buried the bodies and it's just the head sticking out of the ground.
Oh, geez, that's terrifying.
But there's statues. It's not like it's people.
Because you just had a lot of time in your hands, yeah.
I mean, they were.
They were what? Oh, you looking up now, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were people who were just cemented.
Oh, yeah. They don't look like people, though. They look like sculptures. Yeah. All right. My dad says French Cajun cooking originated in New Orleans.
That's it. Yep. It's not called Southern cooking, Dom. Yep. It's called Cajun.
Okay. That's true. Cajun food. But the reason I said Southern,
a whole bunch of Southern people like offended.
The main reason I said Southern is because the name of the food truck was called Southern Comfort Kitchen. But you're correct. Cajun is the correct term. And then my dad was laughing at Daniel. Ooh, okay. All right. Next question we have. When you're far from home, what do you miss most and what do you not miss at all?
For me, it's probably the food. Because as we mentioned earlier, Malaysian food is it's uncomparable to anywhere else in the world because we have everything. And
sorry, you miss the food more?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I miss the food.
Okay. Interesting.
What I don't miss, probably the weather, because for our viewers who might not be familiar, Malaysia's just right on the equator, so it's nonstop just rain or dry spells and just scorching heat. You know, I actually reckon if you cracked an egg at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, dropped it on the road, just get back around, it'll be cooked, good to go. You're good to go. So and for me, especially with my autoimmune disorder, like my body's always overheating anyway. I always have to have air conditioning on, which is a nightmare. So as soon as I get out, I'll take a cold shower, and as soon as I get out, I'll drive down the road. I'll go from, let's say, my car to a restaurant or whatever. I'll already start sweating. It's too much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but that being said, if you put me in Siberian Russia, I don't think I'd be too happy there either. So
you need somewhere a little bit more neutral,
somewhere in the middle.
San Francisco, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's my plan, hopefully. Mm-hmm. What about you, Zach?
I don't know. This might I when I go visit another country, the last thing I want to do is eat Malaysian food because I want to experience the local food. Mm. So I guess I won't miss the food at all. But what I would miss is okay, can I say this?
Can you?
Malaysia has the best speed internet.
Okay.
That's your hot
and
take.
I feel every time I step out of Malaysia, there's always like slow internet.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what I miss the most. Fast connection.
It's really interesting because so many people probably perceive Malaysia as this backwards third world country that doesn't have like technological advances and stuff, which is entirely
Oh no,
untrue.
we need our Pornhub.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
We've established that we use the word corn in place of
Corn hub.
Yeah, corn. So Cornhub.
Boo.
I'm learning these things from my chat participants.
Yeah. No, because what I realized, even when I was in Melbourne, I was playing some games online, and Melbourne's connection was short.
Really?
Yeah, it was slow as hell, and yeah, I mean, my friend has actually done a study where Malaysia is one of the top countries with the fastest internet. I
Wow,
think Korea is first, maybe.
that's amazing. So another good reason for me to move back there.
Yeah.
I'm on 5G internet at home now, using Verizon's network.
How is it?
It's fine most of the time. It's better than what I had before, where sometimes things would drop and it was frustrating, like the buffering in the when you're streaming video and stuff. And now it's like it's fine. But yeah, even better internet in Malaysia. That sounds great to me. I'd love to love to go back to that. Okay, so Zach has established that he wouldn't miss the food at all. I think for me, it probably depends on how long I've been away from home, what I miss and what I don't miss, and what home I'm referring to in the moment. So if I'm referring to Malaysia as home, what I miss most is the people and the food, especially long term. I can get some Malaysian food here, but it's not the same as getting it like locally in Malaysia. I think those were like my two big answers when I was asked like what brings me back to Malaysia aside from the person I was dating at the time. It was people and it's fine. The people and the food were big parts of it, and the multicultural aspect. Like, just there's so much culture in Malaysia. I miss that a lot. And you know what? Even after this much time has passed, I feel like the weather too. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing for me. So, having been back to Malaysia a few times in the last couple of years, I can compare what that weather is like to what it's like here. And like right now, like today, it's been like 24 degrees Celsius, and it's really hot here for this climate. 24 in Malaysia is cold. So like it's weird how like location can make the temperature feel different because of what is normal for those areas, right? So yeah, when I was back in Malaysia, I liked being able to dress like this more often. I can't dress like this that often here where I live because it's not normally that warm. And the reason I'm wearing this right now is because it's been warm. So warm as in 24 degrees Celsius, which is not, but here it feels warm. When I'm also, what do I not miss about Malaysia?
You can't dress like that in Malaysia.
I could totally dress like this in Malaysia. I do anyway. I don't give a shit.
You'll get shamed.
Do you think I care about that? Although I suppose that would be the part that I don't miss is the judgment, being judged.
Yeah.
I've definitely been on the receiving end of judgments. So that's the part that I don't miss.
Yeah.
We are Judge Dreads here.
Very judgmental. Not everyone is, like, it just depends. But yeah, the judgment parts. For home here, what do I miss when I leave? I don't think I've ever been far enough from way here to really miss anything when I've left. So I will have to answer that once I move and figure out what it is that I miss about here. Maybe I think probably what I might miss most might be the ability to see as many famous people perform. But I have already kind of gotten used to being fine with that. I think with, this is, I've seen enough people for it to not be a big deal to be missing out on future shows, I guess, is what I'm saying with that.
Well, that's the thing. And now with technology being the way it is and everything's recorded and broadcast now, I mean, aside from being there live, I mean...
Well, that's the thing. The live aspect is I know I can watch these, famous stand-up comedians specials on Netflix or Hulu or wherever after it's on. But if I've been there live, then I don't have to watch them afterwards. It's a different experience. What I will not miss at all when I leave will be the politics. And again, judgments. And guns. I will not miss there being so many guns to worry about.
But you'd be surprised now. There's cases of where there's drive-by shootings.
Yeah,
in Malaysia.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But guns are illegal, so they're right. So they're just bringing them in illegally.
Illegally, yeah. So, but you know what they say: where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because there's no guns doesn't mean there's no drugs.
Correct.
Fair. All right, we have one more question, but I'm going to bring up some chat first. What? Sharon can only be with us for another 20 minutes anyway.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I've got to go for a meeting in a little bit.
Yeah, it's no worries. I think we'll be done by then anyway. All right, my dad says, my mother's closest engineer friend was of Chinese descent, but born in Borneo. So he was probably Malaysian then. So I don't think there's Chinese people in Indonesia there and Brunei. He had interesting stories from there. And then my dad said, yes, about Easter Island. And then he says, mint juleps are southern and southern fried chicken. Yeah, because there's more than just Cajun food in the South. There's like Kentucky fried chicken. Kentucky is still considered the South, even so that's not the same. Harmony and grits and cornbread. Yeah, so there's more to Southern food than just Cajun, although I will say that the Cajun food is the best Southern food. All right, my dad says also Boston, I think, is known for clam chowder and baked beans. The West, especially Wyoming, has a delicacy of deep fat fried oysters that aren't oysters. That's weird. I've never had that before. I'm surprised that nobody introduced it to me, given the time that I've spent in Wyoming. Yes, there's New England clam chowder, which is the best clam chowder, and there's Manhattan clam chowder, which is awful because it's got a tomato base rather than a cream base. So that's my personal opinion on clam chowders.
The angel's hot take, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my hot take on food. Clam chowder, which one's good? New England clam chowder, which one sucks? Manhattan clam chowder. Oh, this is about the oysters that aren't oysters that my dad says are very tasty, but often introduced to tourists. Okay, there we go.
Gotta make that money, bro.
That's how to do it. All right, we have one question left. Woo! See, we're going to finish on time and get you out the door for your appointment.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to create a true sense of home wherever you go? Why or why not? My dad had an answer for this. He said, home is where the heart is. So he does. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Zach?
Well, I mean, I'm speaking from a guy that's like, 46 years old. So I'm going to say my home right now is where my core group of friends are, which is here. So even though I move to, like, say, if I move to Melbourne or if I move to the States, there'll be my temporary home, but my true home would always be where my boys are or girls. Yeah.
What if they all moved with you to Melbourne though? Would that then feel like that was home?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd make for an interesting integration process. But yeah.
Like during COVID, like during the lockdown, we try to come up with the idea where every one of our friends would stay in the same condo, so that gaming would be easier, sharing food would be easier, and it was a plan that almost happened, but yeah, it fell through because people. Money fell through.
Zach, is this why you were trying to get me to buy a condo in your complex? When we were Look, I would love to be like that close to a friend. If I can make something like that work and live in the same neighborhood as a friend, that would be awesome.
I like that whole. I mean, I still would like to dream that it is one day possible, like, or maybe like have live in a gated community where.
Oh yeah, that would be fucking awesome. I would love to have something like that. It's definitely. I know so many friends who have dreams like that. It was like, just like all migrate to the same farm or the same area and just like build a community together.
Isn't that how cults normally start?
Probably.
That sounds fun. That does sound fun.
Because of our third culture nature, right? We're not. I'm saying I'm not that religious, but if we lived in a gated community, I could like appoint myself as the token imam for the small mosque in that gated community, and Friday prayers, the sermon's gonna be a whole nother level, bro. That's the dream.
I would pay to watch that. Actually, I would pay to watch that. That'd be funny.
I wonder what Imam Puppy Zach has to say about it.
Wait. Would I have to convert in order to come and see, or can I just?
Yeah. You sit in the back.
Okay.
Like a woman should.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm watching actually a sitcom series about called Rami right now, and it's about a guy who's an Egyptian Muslim or Egyptian American Muslim.
Rami?
Rami. Yeah, that's the show that I'm watching right now on Hulu. I mean, right in the middle of it, like halfway through season 2. So I'm finding. Sorry, which?
You watch Mo?
I don't know that one.
Mo's on Netflix. He's a Palestinian American.
Okay, I'll check that one out. I also have Netflix. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So it's very good. Yeah. I was just thinking also, like, since I have to buy property in Malaysia in order to move there, I could buy a place that has a room that a friend could move into, right? And so I'm not, it's not just me and my son. I could do that, right? I could find somebody who wants to live with me.
You're home. You do what you want to do.
And I could have more of that sense of community in my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, but it's a possibility. I don't know if anyone wants to live with me, be that close to me. We'll see. What about you for this question, Shara? Do you have an answer?
Yeah. So I think it's interesting because as we said, it's a lot about community, but it's interesting because sometimes I don't know about you two, but sometimes I often want to go to a place where I know no one at all, and you almost want to start fresh. That can also be a good thing. So, and yeah, and well, and and if you go to a place where you have good people there and you can start fresh, then why not? So that's the thing. Home literally uh, could be a place where you're literally by yourself, or it could be in a place where you're surrounded by all your favorite people. So you never know. And obviously nowadays, with the age of like video streaming and all this, hypothetical. And to be fair, I've done this a few times where I'll get with some friends. I think just this was during lockdown. My friends and we would come and do live streams like this, but we would just like have drinks and just chat. And it's almost. I mean, it was really weird for us at first because we were like, "This is not like a bar. This is really bizarre." But nowadays, I mean, it's become second nature, right? So now we're a lot more relaxed about it. So in some ways, yeah, I suppose it's possible, but I don't know.
I think it probably depends on the person. I don't know if I could create a true sense of home anywhere I go. I think that I could create it in a lot of places I go. I don't think I could create it everywhere I go. With what you were saying, Sharad, I don't know, just finding. Sorry, my brain has been scattered just now. Yeah, I have felt that urge to escape and start over new, start fresh in the past. I have not felt like that for a while. I've very much felt more, if I'm going to relocate anywhere, it's going to be somewhere that already feels like home, that I already have community, because I don't want to start fresh and make new friends. Completely fresh, completely new, with not knowing anyone. I need to be somewhere where I already have at least a few friends. KL makes the most sense because I have the widest community of friends there. But Melbourne was also kind of on the table for as an option because I have a few friends there as well, and it does feel like home, especially during the Melbourne Comedy Festival. That time of year is the best. And I haven't been back to the festival for years. Yeah, Zach knows what I'm talking about since he just performed there. It's the best time of year to go there. And I think if I do end up moving back to Malaysia, it will give me more freedom to travel back to Melbourne during the comedy festival than I would have by staying here as well, because it's so much cheaper to travel there from Malaysia compared to here, especially when living expenses are so much less as well. So yeah, that's my answer.
Well, I mean, like, when in doubt, you can always rob a bank.
God, I'm not gonna. I don't risk prison.
I'm a hot piece of ass in prison. No,
all right.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that if you do decide to go back to Melbourne, is that room still available?
To live with, you mean?
Yeah.
It depends what. I mean, Melbourne property is so much more expensive. That's a big part of why I chose KL over Melbourne was because it's so much more affordable to live in KL. And I would not be able to afford to buy property in Melbourne once I sell my house.
Buy property in Melbourne.
That might be a future dream thing when, I don't need to worry about my kids anymore. We'll see how things go. Yeah. Potentially, Zach. Potentially. We'll see how things go. All right, so that was our last question. My dad has left a few more comments for us, so I will bring those up and then we can end the stream. So he says that the fake oysters are made from a part of male sheep parts.
Oh dear.
Ew. That doesn't sound pleasant.
Not my idea of a good time, Frank.
Interesting. My dad says that he has lots of homes. The internet still ties him to Laramie, which is in Wyoming. Laramie classmates and friends and of course family.
That's awesome.
And then he says, take time to look into others' eyes can sometimes speed connections.
Of course.
Hard to do if you're autistic and you're not good with the eye contact thing. I think for me, what speeds, there you go. I think the thing that speeds connections for me is having deep and personal conversations. And rather than sticking to small talk, you're like, oh, the weather's like this, and
what is the weather?
Right. Yeah. Getting into deep conversations is the thing that speeds connections. And that's one of the reasons I do this live stream, because even though I'm obviously connected with you guys as friends already, I feel like these streams has helped me feel even deeper connections with you guys. And I don't know, I just love having more of that. And helps build that community.
Like in my experience as well, unless you're intentionally looking for it, whenever you're meeting with friends, it's more about just casual conversation, just shooting the shit, as it were. But when it's very hard, especially nowadays, for us to really walk into things with the intention of opening up and receiving feedback. So, because that could be a combination of, excuse me, it could be a combination of, am I going to alienate this person? Are they going to give me feedback where I don't like what I hear? So it's tricky.
Oh, my dad said I missed a comment. Yes, sorry, I did indeed. I missed this comment. Most people are good people, distorted by poor life experiences. It takes time to get under the self-protections. And then the looking into each other's eyes was a follow-up to that.
I get you. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Poor life experiences can impact things. All right, I guess we will leave it there so that Sharad can get off to his appointment on time. Thank you so much for both of you joining us. I'm glad that things worked out, even though you both slept in.
Oh, sorry. There's the Malaysians in both of us. We're just like...
Yeah, people got lives.
It's all good. I will probably, even if when I move back to Malaysia, I will probably keep up these streams at a time that is able to still entertain my American audience. So, what, Zach? No.
You do you.
Yeah, you do.
My dad wanted to slip in one more comment. He says, intimacy is into me. See.
I see.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched us after the fact, feel free to drop us some comments in the chat. In the comment section. Let us know what you thought. If you have any questions that you want us to discuss in upcoming streams, love that. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can find out when we're going live. I think my next topic next week, what I'm thinking about is wanting versus needing in relationships. I had a very interesting comments I've had on my most recent video on TikTok. So it made me inspired to discuss that particular topic. So that's going to be next week. And yeah, until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.